Well, it's Sunday morning. I had a decent sleep in and felt good. Felt better this morning. A little under the weather, a little run down over the last week. And I told I told the judges I'd go in and drive last night. Did I tell you one of the horses paid like $90 or $80 to win or something? I told you that. Mm-hmm. You seem very impressed. Thank you. So it was a decent week, as I wrote in the header email. Bit of a roller coaster, it generally is. You know, we didn't get to race some of our best horses this week. They were also eligible, but it was nice to see, one, the horses in Ontario come to life, but two, those horses being sophomores with their first starts of their some of their first starts of their sophomore campaigns. Foxy Seaside raced good. I'm glad James put her on the front, because I think all it showed was that she just was still a little too immature to race in that manner, in that paint by numbers, win a race manner. You know, head the rail, get away fourth, quarter pole to the front, control the race, drive away and win. There. That's how you draw up a winning move from a 1 to 5, 3 to 5 shot. But Foxy seems to be, and she always was, quite frankly, this isn't new, always was better off cover. She was always a better hunter in her miles and in her races, but still lots of talent there. And James wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. It's just something you can know going in, you know, and that may change as they go on. I'll tell you right now, time is on my side. Never raced good on the front end when we trained him down or when we raced him his first start. I always kept him covered up, tried to keep him in the 2-hole, tried to keep him right in the 2-hole or 3-hole, covered up to the head of the lane, and then he paced hard down the lane. And after we'd done that 4, 5, 6 times, he turned into a much more rounded, versatile horse, and now you can drive him anyway. Really, the only way you can't drive him is just get parked the whole way. You can't do that with him. He rarely will win if he's parked the entire way. That's the only way you can't race him. That was funny. You didn't even laugh, or you didn't mock me, or you didn't do anything. You know, I will start this week's video by giving a big shout out. I didn't know this until Justin told me. So they had the big drivers thing in Australia. I tried to get James into it. I think they already had their lineup figured out in their head. They were just trying to figure out how it would all work. I had a conversation with the person that was putting it all together this year, and they did a great job. It's like most things when you have an inaugural championship, there's going to be changes made. There's going to be things that you're going to try to do better, things that you don't need to do, and I think they were just in that kind of that stage where they were fleshing everything out and trying to figure out what they were going to do. Unfortunately, James didn't go over, but it appears we weren't represented and didn't even know it. Now, I knew from talking to clients in Australia, we do have some clients in Australia, the Gerard family, and I didn't know them very well. And I certainly didn't know that their son was named Angus Gerard. He sounds like a villain from a James Bond movie, like a Scottish or an Irish villain. Angus Gerard. It's a good name. Angus won what it is. Angus won the drive, the whole tournament. Beat all those top drivers, and he's like a 20-some-year-old kid. I did not know that. So my apologies for not knowing. You're bad, Gerard family, for not telling us that you had a superstar driver in the family. And overall, just very happy for the family, and I was shocked when I saw that. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Justin, for letting us know that we had another superstar driver in our midst, other than James. So congratulations to Angus. Apparently, you must have done a tremendous job. I saw the one race. It was a great drive. You know, I was just shocked, I guess. Shocked. And I know when I was 21, winning major stake races meant a lot, although I didn't win any when I was 21. I don't think I even competed in any. I watched a lot of them. But for a 21-year-old kid to come in there and dispatch those drivers, and this was the way Justin portrayed it was, you know, he was the front runner from the start, never let up, and just matter-of-factly pounded everybody in the tournament. So that is a great feeling, I'm sure, one that I've never experienced. And more than likely a huge feather in your cap. Great job, Angus. So that was a little excitement for the end of our week. As I said, the horses raced well. I was a little disappointed we didn't get to race some of our bigger guns this week, but we will. We have all our babies back in full training now. I guess you're on Starbucks duty, eh?
Oh, why? Because you're still talking?
After 5 minutes of an opening video, I'm still talking.
What is
Shame
this
on me.
video?
This is the opening video of our videos every week. You video Grinch. I am gonna... air freshener you got going on here. I was just... Oh, I don't even know if I can. I hope I didn't put... No, it's up. I may not be able to go back, though. All week long, what do we have going on? Monday, we didn't have a lot because... must have been canceled, was it? Tuesday, we didn't have a great week at all in Northfield. Some of our horses didn't race well. The only horse that I thought, in my mind, Sean is racing well was Mounts for All. I thought he raced really good. Now, to be fair, the bulk of our heavy hitters this week are racing tonight, right? We have Patrick the Piranha, 3-Point Blue Chip, Memory and Imagination, and JK Victory racing tonight. Those would be some of our better horses anyway. The ones that we usually have a chokehold on everybody with are those numbers of 2 up to 4, either from them moving out of the classes or us moving them on. We just haven't seen their best racing yet, and we haven't had the greatest horses in those classes. What's left right now, when I look at the numbers of 4 but 7, we could have slid maybe Irresistible Sun in there the way he's racing, but he's got 7 wins, so he's out of the class. What? I drank it last night on the way home. Not bad. I threw a little strawberry cold foam in it today. You want to try it? It's not bad. It's a little concoction I made up.
It tastes like strawberry milk. Warm.
That's pretty good. Anyway, Mounts for All raced great, but then did not get in next week. So I just texted Tim a little while ago saying, hey, is there a spot? I know there's a spot for Mounts for All. Numbers of 2, but not more than 4, maybe, or 2, but not more than 5 for him. And then if need be, I think we can bring Memory and Imagination back on short order. Numbers of 5 but 9. That would go Friday if they need him. I think Friday if they need him. So that's what went on last week. All the sparks, all the fireworks for the most part came from Ontario. As I said, Foxy Seaside raced great. Oh Hill No, so impressed with her. It was a tough race to watch because Rosetta, I thought, was head and shoulders better than that field and ended up racing poorly. A lot of questions to answer with her. And I had said to Harry, too, I said, quite frankly, Rosetta, who wasn't there that long, to be fair, Arson and Neptune all looked rather flat on the end of their miles this week. And I'm wondering if maybe there's a little sickness in Harry's barn. I had said to him, maybe draw the blood or start with an SAA test just to see where those levels are. It's not always obvious, and quite frankly, in the more sinister cases, it's not always just shown in the blood. Slight elevations here and there compound and the horse races poorly, but they're all within the norms, and you're left scratching your head saying, what is going on here? But it may be something coming, right? And that was the case with Irresistible Sun. His blood work was not that bad, but his SAA test was pretty revealing in the sense that he was sick. So maybe something going on there. If you look at each horse on a case-by-case basis, it just wasn't a great week coming out of Harry's barn. But when you look at the entire body of work, there might be something at play there. Arson has never looked weak or poor or non-competitive a day in his life in any class he's ever raced in. He looked poor on Saturday night. Neptune should have been an easy second, like the easiest kind of second, and instead he was a flat 6th, beat maybe a length for second. And then you rewind to Rosetta, who maybe I was wrong. Maybe one, she's not going to get over the bigger track the way we'd hoped just yet anyway, or 2, which would even suck even more, maybe she's not as good as I thought she was. I don't know if it's the latter. I watching her race and driving her myself, I would find it extremely hard to buy into the fact that she's just not good enough. Now, if I'm forced to, fine. But as I sit here right here today, I don't think that guy looks like the typical DoorDash guy. Baggy pants, nose ring.
It's not very nice.
No, it's very, what's the word?
Judgy?
Yes, that would be it. I just think that most of the DoorDash people I see are either people a little older that are just looking to supplement their income, you know, just everyday people, or like those people. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Those people, where you live for a year.
No, and now that you say that, we've DoorDashed in what? Multiple places. Generally, those are the two groups.
I don't usually run out and see what the DoorDasher looks like.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but and nothing wrong with those people. They're not like they're. I didn't mean to say those people, but there's nothing wrong with those people. They're nice people, but plates are from Texas. That's cool. Maybe he's going to school down here and he's supplementing his income. Good for him. Anyway, I was thoroughly happy with Country Dancing. Oh, he'll know. Happy with Foxy, just a little more understanding her, but 100% James did the right thing. So we'll see how that comes along next week. Who else do we have? Rosetta needs to be better.
She didn't bleed?
No, she didn't bleed. We scoped her a little bit of mucus. She touches that right hind and she still hit it. It's a bruise on the cannonball. We've seen it a million times. But I would find it hard to believe that would be any reason that she raced poorly. If she made a break or looked off, okay, fine. But if you're telling me that she just raced poorly because of it, no, I'm not buying into that. And Chevron's bypass, she's a claimer. She's got to win a claimer. I said to Dom, he said, well, you know, what claimer do you think she should win? Let's try the lowest one, and then we'll go from there. So I think the 8 claimer, non-winners of, she's a 5-year-old mare. She goes for $10,000, which isn't a lot, but at the end of the day, I'm sick and tired of trying to find a spot for her to race. It seems like a picky eater, a kid that's a picky eater. You know, I'm done cutting the crusts off the bread. Just see how I did
that. I don't know why you say that.
It's an inside joke. Yes, you did. You cut them off Ollie's bread one time. I saw you do it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I made a mental note of it. I wish I had taken a picture. But Chevron's bypass, you know what? You're going to find a spot where you're competitive, and we're going to race you there, and that's exactly what is happening starting this week. James said the same thing. I left the door open. I said, where do you want to... I said, you know what? Let's ask James. James said, well, they got that 8-condition claimer on right now, the pop-up series, 8 claimer for non-winners of 4,000. Okay, then that's where she can start. You might think there's a huge jump to like a 20 to 25 fillies and mares. There isn't, but she has to be good enough to doing it. And if she has to start in the 8, fine. And if they take her, take her. We're just done racing horses where they can't go on the track and win races. You guys know that. It's a pretty simple philosophy. We either get the horses or build the horses, bring them up from scratch, but they need to be able to race consistently and do well. And when you get to a situation where they can't do well, you have to ask yourself, does the horse need moved? Maybe the horse needs a rest. Maybe the horse needs classified, put in a claimer. Maybe the horse needs sold. And regardless of what answer you come up with, it better be one that solves the situation, which is what's wrong with the horse right now. Why can't we find a class for this horse that this horse can race consistently well in and be a favorite or one of the favorites going on the... You're trying to see what's in my drink.
You have 7 pumps of syrup, and...
I have four pumps of vanilla syrup, which goes in a venti, by the way. 1 peppermint and 1 mocha.
And then strawberry cream.
A little strawberry cold foam on top. What's wrong with that? You calling me fat?
Drink's like 1,000 calories.
No, it's not. You just made that up. You completely made that number up. You don't know how many calories it is. I thought they have to tell you how many calories they are. No. Can't measure it so high.
Yeah. Off the charts.
So that was the scoop with Chevron's bypass. Now we started Saturday, and I was we get Neptune coming in off a week. Did you just rip my air freshener in my car?
It can go back on when I get out.
No. You don't touch my air freshener. Get. Arson. Now, Arson had qualified in 58 and 59, then put in the open, then they canceled. Now, the track was not great to train on all week. What kind of mile could Harry get into him? Try these. I don't try those. They're amazing. I want one. But I'll tell you who raced good was Blue Ventura. Blue Ventura, I was literally on the cusp of just telling him to pull the papers. We'd race him at Northfield, race him at the Meadows. Clearly the horse isn't good enough to do at Mohawk. And then he comes out with that charging second place finish last night. I thought the horse raced very, very good. I was really, really pleased for a number of reasons. I just don't want to pull all the horses out of Ontario. You know, we should have some horses. You know, Neptune should be able to do at Mohawk. Arson, of course he can do it Mohawk. Somebody sent me a message. Maybe he's not good enough. He raced against better horses his whole life than he raced against last night. Like, take nothing away from those horses. They're good, battle-tested, aged pacers. This horse raced against the best horses in Kentucky for 2 years. He went in 150-1 at the Meadows. No, at Poconos. He went in 150-1 at Oak Grove. He went in 150-1 in Philadelphia. He paced 48-4 in Lexington. He's raced good every single start of his entire life. So to think that he can't do it Mohawk, well, it's just silly. Of course he can do it Mohawk. Was he a little short? Probably. Maybe the track wasn't great. Likely. James said it was terrible. Maybe he wasn't getting through it good. And keep in mind, this is the first year that he's also raced in the winter, right? And that's a big thing. Learn to race with corks on. Learn to race on tracks that aren't great. The one thing about the Poconos, or the one thing about Philadelphia, Oak Grove, and Lexington, tracks were all good. Might have been a little sticky at night, but it was sticky for everybody. But the tracks were all summer tracks. That's worth noting also. So, Saturday, very thrilled with Blue Ventura. Disappointed, just not in the horse, but just the overall output from Arson. I expect a lot more from him. And then Neptune squandered a second place finish, and that's a little frustrating too. When I look at both those horses, they just looked a little short to me. So maybe they weren't able to get down to Mohawk and train hard. That frustrates me to no end also, is that Mohawk only lets people train on Wednesdays and Saturdays and then cancels them half the time. You know, people that are on farms, no matter what farm you're at, like First Line Training Center, this is a top-notch training center. But when you dump feet and feet and feet of snow on top of ice, it's impossible to clear it off. It's impossible to do anything. Now you're left with a track that you can't train hard on, and you're asked to go to race against the best horses in Canada. It's just not an easy thing to do, and I don't care what farm you're at. It's not an easy thing to do. So I would imagine that Arson and Neptune were just a touch short last night. So we'll see how they both race next week. Tonight, I'm excited to race Patrick the Piranha. I told everybody coming in to this week, Patrick the Piranha, first time I galloped him when he won here, he just went through the motions, but I'm like, he's 10. He's just little, he's just going to go out and do his work, and that's that. I galloped him the other day. He was not playing around, and he was pulling and lugging and throwing his head sharp as a tack. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know how the end result will be tonight, but his training mile the other day compared to his training mile before he won, totally different horse. So I expect you should be doing your top 10 list, by the way.
I was.
Oh, you were? Good for you.
But I'm upset because I didn't see the last set, and that's like our top set.
Well, I can tell you how it went.
Don't get finished this.
Okay. Well, she's worried. Amy is the rambling Nazi. I can't ramble. I can't drift off course and talk about stuff. She just gives me it starts with the laser look. I see it out of the corner of my eye, and then she'll call me on it. So Patrick the Piranha galloped good, sharp coming into tonight. If I can find him a good trip, I want to believe he'll be at his best tonight. Greatest Ending has not been able to get a good trip or a good track or anything in the last little while. I'd like to see this guy get back in the swing of things. 3 Point Blue Chip, I'm shocked he can get around this track so good, but he does. He was great in training the other day. He was great in qualifying, schooling. The horse looked good. He's going to need a start. It's tough horses tonight. Memory and Imagination 7-hole and JK Victory 6-hole. I'm coming forward with JK Victory off the car for sure. Memory and Imagination, I'll leave out of there probably with him. We'll see how he gets away and where he gets away. Track is in a little better shape than it was last week, so hopefully a little better effort from him. Now, I'll tell everybody right now, James told me he thinks there's a 0% chance they race on Monday with all the rain coming. The track will just be destroyed. Drebin and Spitfire Overseas are in together. I really hope they get a chance to race this week, but I have no idea. Cadeau trained good. Tenacious Hanover's good coming in also. Really, really happy with the way everything is setting up right now at the burn. It is important that we get Time Is On My Side back. Looks like Money should race this week. Save America and Rock Shining Star return to the burn Tuesday morning. So that is the week in a nutshell. Any of the babies stick out to you that you want to talk about in the opening? I was thoroughly pleased. Obviously, the filly you went with. I went a little fast with her too. I don't know if you know that or not.
Who?
Perfect Thought. A little quick.
Oh, I didn't.
Stuck on the accelerator. Oh, you didn't have a watch. That's a good way to train horses. I guess you can never get blamed for going fast if you never have a watch. I had a watch, and you went too fast.
Sorry.
Blue Rare was charging second. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, this is the time of year where I would say now till April 1st even, things start to separate, right? Now, the horses can always jump up or fall back for that matter, but you start to see divides in the groups. And Perfect Thought, when she turns it on, is the queen of the castle, and she looked awesome again this week. The one thing that frustrates me is that every time I go with Sweet Lake, I would swear there isn't a horse that can beat her in the burn. And every time somebody else goes with her, she just looks ordinary. And I don't understand why. The last time I sat behind Sweet Lake, she pounded Perfect Thought and everybody else, made them like it, and was wrapped up going through the wire. A last half in like 14, which was too fast. And she was very, very good. Jason yesterday on the right line a little bit. She was just, I don't know. And it's perplexing to me. And it's not that she interferes. She doesn't wear a boot. She wears a Murphy blind in the inside. That's it. And it has been great. So I don't know what went on with her. My name is Sweeney. Look great again. Getting a little hot. Little Heston hotness coming out in her. That's okay. We get a little birthday present for her. We get a little Jane coming for her. And then I told Joey the other day, I said, you can drive Millie Girl for a little bit. I want her staying in. So get her to the front early in the mile or in the two-hole.
Why would she do?
It's every week. She's first over. Every week. Every week. And it's because she's so quick in her feet. I don't want her first over anymore. I want her to sit along the rail. For the entire month of March, I want her staying along the rail for a little bit. On the front, 2-hole, 3-hole, no further back, and no right moves for the next little bit with her. On the trotting side, Blue Rares look tremendous. Who do you like? Bobby was a little schizophrenic yesterday.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, that's the Uncle Peter. I told you can't hide from it. You think that Bobby, she's so pretty.
But just be consistent.
Yeah, but they're not. In the month of February, March. Look, what I tell you. Megan, I thought Megan had a little tougher. I thought she was going to give me a little more fight than she did.
Fine, you go with Bobby next time.
10 days. And Megan right now is like, hey, do you need the floor vacuumed and mopped up? Do you want me to feed the horses? I can set out morning feed if you want.
You broke her soul.
I broke her heart a little bit, but she decided that the hard work I put through her that 10 days was just not worth it because she's actually good at her work. She followed you the whole way yesterday, and I could have challenged you at any point, and I just said, no, I'm just going to leave her alone. She finished up her work, fought off the horses around her. She's just turned into a sweet little filly like that. But that is not new. That is not shocking. This is an Uncle Peter thing that I've seen dozens of times, from the good ones and the bad ones. Also, Pine was a terror in the winter and spring. And ended up, he's still racing that horse. Somebody sent me a photo of him in the winner's circle the other day. Man, he's a nice horse. But that's the thing, is that you have to put the Uncle Peters, they test you. And the only answer to that test is just a lot of heavy lifting.
But she's so, you just don't know what version of Bobby you're going to get.
That's the Uncle Peter. That's the Uncle Peter. And the other thing is, you know, this isn't me saying we went fast. No, we didn't go fast. She jogged 3 miles and then trained 1.5 miles. And if she was acting up in that 1.5 miles. What's up?
We don't jog 3 miles and then train.
She did.
Who?
That week. Megan. She jogged 3 miles and trained 1.5 miles that week. And it wasn't that she was training hard. I just made sure she was plenty tired when she come back in. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and then finally she decided, you know what, it sucks being tired. And she behaved. And that's not for every breed. You can't do that with every breed. The tactical landings are different. They can take the torture and they give it right back to you. And they're a little tougher in that regard. So you can't do the same thing with that Uncle Peter group that you can do with the tactical landing group. It's not, I wouldn't recommend it. So it's knowing the horses as individuals.
The thing that frustrates me is she comes unglued and you can't.
That's just because here's the thing. You have to continue to put her in positions to come unglued.
And that's what happened. A disaster.
No, it's not a disaster.
I sat on a helmet. She got mud in her face, and
she's going to get mud in her face again.
The world was over.
Well, we'll find out about that in the next week or so. You just make sure she stays in your classroom, because if she ends up in the principal's office, I can assure you that mud in her face is not going to bother her.
But I'm not going to move her 8 times in a training mile.
That's too bad. Why? You're worried about her getting tired? You're worried about hurting her feelings?
No.
She's an athlete.
He told me to put her in an uncomfortable position.
That's right.
And I did.
Yeah,
I made her stay in.
It's easier for her to be in an uncomfortable position if she's a little tired or behaved or understands the position she's in. And as long as she's going to dictate what happens on the track training, it's going to be a problem. Now, as you hear me say that out loud, that isn't me saying, this is what you have to do right now. Every horse is different. Bobby had a little bad day yesterday. That's fine. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm only going to see Bobby when she continues to trend in the wrong direction. We already know she can fly. Very, very fast filly. Great, beautiful gait to her. She's got a good attitude, but she does hear voices. And they're indicative to her father that put them in her head. But listen, a lot of people in Ohio either think that Uncle Peter's, the breed's a little older. And I think we're going to breed Muscle Crown Uncle Peter also. I haven't got a call back from the farm yet, though. But when it comes to Uncle Peter, I love them. They're durable, they're tough. And when they come to play, they come to play. You know who I forgot was an Uncle Peter? Now, we didn't break him, we didn't train him down. But I just happened to hear, I was looking at old races of Patrick the Piranha, and I went back to the day he won at 48-4. Do you know that day I won the open trot with Stay Close? I won the open pace with Patrick the Piranha. Spitfire Overseas was beat a half a length in the backup class. And on that same day was the first day we raced all gas, no brakes.
Oh, I knew he was an Uncle Peter.
He was an Uncle Peter. He's an Uncle Peter. And that was the first day we raced him, and he jogged that day too. I won 3 or 4 races that day and had a really good day. And, when it came to gas, he was the same way. Very stubborn, but when he was on, he was good. And he's been good for a number of people. Just a good racehorse. And that's what Uncle Peters make. Every sire is going to make good and bad horses. But the ones that make those tough overnight horses when they're done the stakes, oh so pine, right? He was an Uncle Peter, wasn't he? Now that I say it, was he what the hell? Was it Uncle Peter?
No, what the hell? We didn't have what the hell.
Yeah, I think he was Uncle Peter. Anyway, all these horses ended up being good, tough race horses when they were done. And I guess if I really wanted to pat our barn on the back, I think that's indicative of the way we train them down also. So whether it's Megan's Lucky Day or Bobby or anybody else, this is not the first go around with Uncle Peter's. It won't be the last because I like them. And I think Bobby will be just fine. So really happy with the way a number of horses ended up training and racing this week. Obviously, you're not going to have a perfect week ever, but I was happy with the way things went. Real happy to see the connection with the stable winning the Ultimate Drivers Championship, I believe. So to the Gerard family and Angus Gerard, congratulations. That is a tremendous feat. Take a minute from somebody who didn't take a minute for most of my life when things came my way, and it was only upon reflection that I got to really kind of revel in what took place. Take a minute, understand what you just did. You just beat some of the best drivers in the world at the game that they've been good at for a very long time, and you're just a kid. So congratulations, and a wonderful job by him. It's a big feat. It's a big, 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 big feat. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to talk to you all soon. Amy's got to do her top 10 list in a minute, and we're still going to talk about all the 2-year-olds, just generally speaking, give you an update on where they are, what they're doing, and bring that to you in, I guess, just a minute.